Milk and Honey Farm is our community farm at the Boulder Jewish Community Center, and we run the farm in order to be a center for building community, for educational projects around agriculture and sustainability, and in general building a more resilient community. So as a part of that, we have a number of different things on our 2-acre farm. We have a barn where we house our goats. We have about 25 families and individuals who come together to take care of the goats weekly or every other week, and they get to milk the goats and take their milk home. We have this educational garden bed space where we plant things in order to facilitate exploration of plants and tasting things and forming those connections of where food comes from. For instance, we have like a bed that's just full of mint. So it's a sensory, it's almost year round, like we're in the end of November and there's still mint there. And it's so it's almost a year round opportunity for eating and smelling and making tea and those sorts of things. We have our grow dome where we're able to grow year round and have year round programming inside the dome. Past our dome, we have about a 1/4 acre that we call our tzedakah garden. Tzedakah loosely means donations in Hebrew, and we grow about a ton of produce every year, and we donate it through working with Boulder Food Rescue, who comes to pick it up and delivers it that day to people who need food assistance. What's neat about having our dome is that we actually are able to have year-round food donations, so they'll come about once a month and grab a harvest of cucumbers and kale. Again, it's the end of November and our cucumbers are still rocking it, which is great. We also, as a part of the Boulder Jewish Community Center, we have an early childhood center. There's about 180 children who come to school every week, and most of them make it to the farm every week. And they're able to explore year-round on the farm, especially because we have our grow dome. Yesterday was a super windy day, and they didn't really want to be outside planting garlic with us because it was a little bit too windy. And they were like, can we please go into the greenhouse? And it's, I think, a highlight for most kids that are here. All the animals, but the fish that we have inside the tank in the grow dome is a big hit. And so the aspect of wanting an outdoor classroom or like a year-round space, the grow dome fit in really well with that, because we were able to create inside a really lovely center space to sit in, to like talk to groups, and people just want to be inside. The soft lines of the curvature is, I think, really appealing as a human being to be inside. I would definitely recommend the grow dome to other people. I think as an organization, it makes so much sense to have a grow dome because of the benefit of the space inside that it creates, being such a haven all seasons. Well, I would say 3 seasons of the year. In the summertime, we don't do programming inside. We do it from fall, winter, and spring. And it's a really, aside from just the aesthetic appeal, to be able to teach about sustainability and the fact that there's this really cool piece of engineering in this structure that we don't add heat to and we can grow in Colorado year round is, I think it adds a really cool wow factor and gives people tools and understanding of other ways or new ways to live sustainably in the world. We are a Jewish community center, and we're able to grow plants inside the dome that connect to Jewish tradition that we wouldn't be able to grow outside. So we have figs borderline outside in Colorado, but we have a pomegranate and an olive tree and a dwarf date palm. And we also are growing za'atar, which is an herb that's in Middle Eastern spices that grows wild in the Judean hills. And it's a very tender perennial, and so you don't get much of a yield if you grow it outside. And for us to be able to grow it inside, we have it year round, and it's a very cool thing to be able to have to offer chefs. When we do farm to table dinners, we're able to highlight that fresh za'atar, which also with the rise of modern Israeli cuisine is a very cool thing. We also use the produce in our programming. So it means that our preschool classes are coming out weekly and tasting things from the dome during the school year. And we're able to incorporate it into camp. We are able to offer farm camps, like Farm to Table Camp in Colorado in June, because we already have a lot of stuff growing, which you can have stuff outside too, but it's like this really lovely assurance that we're going to have a lot for the kids to taste and try year round. The tagline that I like that we use is living values, creating community, awakening minds. And that's what we do at the JCC. And so being able to have a community farm fits into all three of those things really well. We build community around the food that we eat. We learn about living our values through growing sustainably and donating food, awakening minds, learning new things. What made you say wow today? And often, we can find that pretty easily on the farm with all the growing plants and the animals.